Hey everybody, this is Bobby Narang, co-founder of Opensense. We are just giving our group another couple minutes here to get logged into today's webinar. Thanks so much for taking some time to learn a little bit more about the next strategic brand marketing channel, digital business cards. We'll get started here at 3 past the hour. Alrighty, folks, let's go ahead and get started. I'm Bobby Narang. I'm one of the co-founders here at Opensense. I'm incredibly grateful that you've decided to take some time out of your day to join us today to learn a little bit about digital business cards. And we want to share just how some teams are, you know, leveraging these brand moments and translating them into business outcomes through digital business cards. And so our goal for today is to really kind of provide for you an introduction to what a digital business card is, why it is valuable, how it's different than like a traditional business card, and really how to think about leveraging it from both a brand and performance marketing standpoint, two aspects that we're really proud to bring to market today. So you might be wondering why digital business cards. Our audience today is a mix of both prospects and customers. And, for background's sake, OpenSense has been around for, a dozen or so years now. And we've traditionally been in the email signature space. And so you may be asking, well, what's the relationship to digital business cards? Well, the reality is that our customers have been asking us for this because often a digital business card presents the same information that you would typically have within an email signature. However, if you zoom out a little bit further and you contextualize the business action of a business card, it seems a little bit incongruous with the way that work has evolved over the last decade or two. In many ways, we've completely automated the way that we sell with, tools like Outreach, SalesLoft, Gong. Um, ChatGPT is a huge tool for many sellers now to articulate their messaging and to really kind of uh, quarterback your communication. Marketers have doubled and tripled down on personalization and ensuring that experiences, both digital and in person, are very much aligned with ICPs and your specific customers or prospects. And everything that sales and marketing does on a day-to-day basis has become measured, and it's become data that's leveraged to incrementally get better. And when you think about it, all facets of go to market have really seen this kind of evolution that's aligned with the evolution in technology. Whether it's um, upgrading systems or getting a better handle on analytics. Um, all of that said, if I were to meet you today, or you were to meet me today at an event or out to lunch, 9 times out of 10, if you have any contact information, you're handing it out in a paper business card. And that just feels archaic relative to the evolution that's occurred elsewhere in our go-to-market. It's static, um, it's forgettable. Just realistically, business cards just end up in your pocket and typically stay there until you empty your pockets before throwing your pants in the laundry. At least that's my experience. And along those lines, paper business cards are also quite wasteful. And it's actually kind of interesting because we've done a little bit of research on this, and it's kind of staggering when you really kind of understand the current state of standard paper business cards. We learned that there's a production of 100 billion paper business cards every single year. And when you think about that, I mean, I'm sure all of us at certain points of our career have received that sort of, long box. You pop it open and there's hundreds of business cards there. Well, you think about that per employee. Well, what if that employee gets promoted in a year, in the course of a year? What if the employee gets married and their last name changes? What if their phone number changes? Think about all of these print jobs of boxes that are shipped out. Well, as it turns out, even if you were to hand them all out, 88% of paper business cards typically end up in the garbage within the first week. And for me, that's kind of been my experience. Just God forbid one of you who are in the audience have handed me a business card, because as I mentioned before, it typically ends up in my pocket and then from there ends up in the garbage. And that's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity for the brand to assert itself, to really kind of make an impact. It's a missed opportunity to frankly get my information back to you. And ultimately, that business card ends up in the garbage means that I'm not calling you. That's a missed opportunity from a conversational standpoint as well. And so there's a number of different reasons why business cards, they had their place. For any of you American Psycho fans out there, there's an amazing and iconic scene about the evaluation of their business cards, and they definitely served a purpose. But in the context of where all of our go-to-market is going and has gone over the last decade or two, business cards are really lagging behind until now. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. But again, ultimately, the key point we want to make here is that your investment in paper business cards is just a missed opportunity. Can't update it, can't track it, can't measure any of its impact, and ultimately, it's likely ending up in the garbage. Um, like I said, until now. So Opensense has developed and implemented a brand platform that enables marketing teams to leverage those brand moments and turn them into business outcomes. For those of you who are customers of ours already, you know that impact is present within your email signatures. We're now bringing that same impact to your business cards. And we want to really empower you to not only ensure that when your employees are out in the field doing their jobs, that when they are sharing their information, not only is it driving a brand moment that you own and you control, but it's also serving the business from an ROI standpoint in a way that you can ultimately track as well. And so we really want to help you make sure that you're leveraging that first impression to drive a meaningful business outcome. And so at a very, very high level, what is a digital business card? What is an Opensense digital business card? Well, first and foremost, it's an app that you can launch on your phone without any installation whatsoever, that shares a QR code or a link that can be shared via text or email. But the key thing here is that when I meet somebody, I have the ability to quickly pop open a QR code that's going to be automatically generated by Opensense. So there's zero lift for you in order to encode a QR code with contact information. Speaking of that contact information, Opensense, again, is a company that's been around for 12 plus years, and we're SOC 2 Type 2 certified. What that means is that we often have really tight integration with your organization's centralized source of truth for employee data. Things like your Entra ID, Workday, ADP, Paylocity, Bamboo HR, you name it. Wherever that employee data resides, we have integrations such that any changes made to that information are automatically going to sync down to your employees' digital business cards. It'll update the QR code, it'll update the experience immediately. And so you're immediately eliminating waste related to creating updated business cards. We're going to talk a little bit about the branded experience, but the key thing to mention here is it's fully customizable, just like your email signatures. And there's some really awesome ways that you can, as a marketer, curate that brand experience to make maximum impact. And I want to share a story about Opensense, the way that we leveraged our own digital business cards recently at an event. And speaking of events, it's been a really interesting evolution to see that at events, it costs more and more to rent things like lead scanners to be able to capture contacts and capture leads. Well, with OpenSense digital business cards, we actually have a viable alternative that's a little bit more lightweight, but certainly more economical than the thousands of dollars that are being charged to utilize lead scanners at events today. So branded perfection is the title of the next slide. And really, I think it's an important call out here because similar to the way that our email signature product is, not just a drag and drop WYSIWYG editor, we really take your brand vision into consideration when we develop your email signature. Well, when it comes to your digital business card, you're going to have that exact same capability. Not only do you have the ability to totally curate the brand, but you also have the ability to really curate the brand experience. So you can create different versions of digital business cards and assign them to groups of users where, for instance, you might have a sales team for whom it makes sense to have a digital business card that includes things like a meeting link, or maybe even a graphic or an image that clicks through to a piece of research or a white paper. And so this is an example of this ability to utilize this blank canvas to create the perfect curated brand experience for some or all of your employees. And a story that I'll share with you here is we were recently at an event in Phoenix or Scottsdale called the Financial Brand Forum. And we launched a couple of products there, and we wanted to call it the Branding Ballpark was the theme of our booth at this event. And it was a baseball theme, and so instead of our typical sleek, modern, branded digital business card, the group of us that were at this event actually had a digital business card that was in the form of like a baseball card to really kind of align with that brand experience at the event. So this is just an example of the ways that a digital business card, it's not just a piece of paper with a logo on it anymore. It can be sort of a supplement or complement to your other branding initiatives, and you have a very granular capability of activating and controlling that. And again, all of this happens with OpenSense's emphasis on service. We have an incredible customer success organization that aligns with you and ensures that your brand vision becomes reality, whether that's in your signatures or now in your digital business cards as well. And it's relevant to be sharing that with you based on our experience at an event. I alluded to this kind of concept of really expensive lead scanning, needing a potential alternative. Well, the cool thing with OpenSense is that in addition to presenting your information, you know, it kind of matters who you're sharing that information to. And so I wanted to share with you some of the capability that we've built in that makes this sort of a viable alternative. So for instance, if I share my digital business card with you, you can then actually share your contact information back with me through a very seamless workflow that's built into our digital business card experience. And so this is what helps to make OpenSense a viable alternative to your lead scanners at an event, because when you share that information back to me, OpenSense integrates everywhere. And so what if I could capture that information and push it into your CRM? or push it into your marketing automation platform and signify the event or the place or the situation in which I met you. So for instance, that branding ballpark example, any lead that we captured was automatically pushed into our HubSpot instance and associated with this event, uh, the Financial Brand Forum. This helps us as an organization take a very simple act of a digital business card scan and translate it into event ROI downstream. And again, all of this is facilitated through a very simple digital business card, as well as our sophisticated integration network, where we can push data into one or many places for you to then determine what its impact has been. And so you can really see here that we are taking the digital business card concept from an old, static, wasteful, wasted brand experience, archaic experience, to one that looks a lot more like our go-to-market activities of today. Again, it's automated in some ways, it's targeted in some ways, and it's tied to data in some ways. And that's transformative. And I want to share an example of how we have already impacted many of our customers with this offering. Um, American Sound is a specialist in uh, large scale sound systems, and they've got over 250 employees. They've got 5 different brands. All of them have their unique brand experience, but all of those branded experience are totally unified across email and digital business cards. Digital business cards have been a major win for their sales team, and the customer tells us that they actually have members of their sales team who have screenshotted their digital business card and just saved it as their phone background. And so when they're out, they just hold up they don't even have to like hit the Opensense business card button. They just pop open their phone and uh they're able to kind of quickly transfer that information. But that's the thing here. It's empowering to your sellers. It's enabling them to engage in these conversations with an objective in mind. I want to exchange information. I want to get your info. I want you to have my information. I want to get your information. I want to push that information back into CRM. And again, I want to really highlight here that if we were to start a company today and just create these digital business cards and just make them pretty and have them share information, that would be useful. But what makes our offering specifically and uniquely valuable is that we've been in business for 12 plus years and have achieved SOC 2 Type 2 compliance, have high levels of support, and an integrations ecosystem that allows us to grab data from anywhere in order to populate digital business cards, and then to take engagement data from digital business cards and push that data into any system. And that is something that we do every single day. We live and breathe it. So um, the impact here at American Sound, Opensense gave us brand control, modern tools, and a sense of unity. If that seems like some things, some objectives that feel worthwhile for you to pursue as well, um, well, we're going to leverage some QR codes here as well. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Feel free to take a minute and schedule a personalized demo. We'd love to share with you some of that experience that I described of sharing information, capturing it, etc. Um, but we're really excited to bring this offering to you. Again, if you're already a customer of Opensense, this is low lift because all of the data is ready to go, and that same data is what's going to show up in your digital business card. But if you have any questions about anything we've chatted about today, feel free to look me up on LinkedIn and connect with me there. I really appreciate you all taking, the last 15 or 20 minutes to take a look at Opensense. I'm happy to open it up to any questions if there are any. And if not, we will call it a day. And as we wrap up, I'll just quickly mention I'm Bobby Naran, co-founder here at Opensense. I really appreciate y'all taking some time out of your day to learn a little bit more about our digital business card offering. Are there any questions? If not, thanks so much for joining, and I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day.